Let's create a simple app to maintain a list of contacts. The first step in creating any app is to create an application. There's a lot you can do with applications, but for now we'll simply create it and carry on. If you look at the application, you'll see that underneath you'll have almost everything that you'll get in a full repository browser. So within that, we'll start by creating an analysis model. The next few steps should be familiar from your modeling training. We'll create a stream called contacts. And we'll set the period for this stream to transactional. More about that later, but it's a crucial step. Now we'll add some attributes to our stream. The first one is a special one for apps, and it's a UID field. Create a field called UID, all capital letters, with the type integer. We'll talk about what this does later on. After that, we'll create several fields which we'll use to store contact details in. We'll speed up a bit here because all this should be very familiar from your earlier training. Great, so now we've got our stream. The next step is to create a dashboard. This should be familiar from the earlier exercises where we created dashboards. We'll call this contacts. And just as we did in earlier exercises, we'll open the stream configuration and drag that onto the dashboard to create a grid view. For the time being, we're going to grab all of the attributes and drag them onto the grid view. Next, let's split the dashboard. In the bottom half, we'll create an edit form. So first, we add a form. Let's name the form. This won't make any difference, at least no visible difference right away, but it's a good idea so you can keep track of all your layouts. Next, let's open that stream configuration again, and we'll drag the same set of attributes onto the lower view. And you'll see this time they create edit fields. Next, we'll add a few buttons. We'll add an add button, an update, and a delete. We'll call this button add contact. The next crucial step is to set the action type. Here we want to create new fields, so we'll make that insert. Next, we'll set the label. So this is how the button appears to users. We'll make that nice and short. We'll call it add. Let's add an update button. Set the name of the button to update contact. This is an internal field, so you can make this as long and descriptive as you like. Set the action type to update. And we set the label to update. Finally, a delete button. Again, make the name nice and long and descriptive. Set the action type to delete. We'll set the label to delete. Let's arrange these buttons on the screen so they look a bit tidier. One final step. This will be familiar if you did the exercise about linked views. Let's drag the UID across. This links the two views. And we'll see what that does in a moment. If we go into app mode, we can see our app in action. I'll enter some details. To save you watching me type, we'll speed up a bit here. If I press the Add button, you can see a new row is created. The UID is set automatically. We start with value 1000. When we created the UID in the stream at the beginning, CenterView automatically knows that it should increment this value with each new record we create. Let's create another couple of records and we'll see that happening. The next value, 1001, is used. UID is generally an internal value. It's often useful to show it on the screen while you're developing an app. But in the next exercise, we'll show you how to remove it, or rather hide it. Because we link the two views with UID, as we click through, the bottom view updates as well. Now let's update a record. We realise we typed this address in incorrectly, and we'll press the update button. You can see the update is reflected in the view above. Finally, we'll delete a record. That message there is the general one. It's not very friendly for users, so we'll change that in a future exercise. And there we have a simple app that allows you to insert, update and delete records.